going to be doing another book review for you all. Today, I'm going to be reviewing actually another Christian book that I read this month, and that book is The Captive Maiden by Melanie Dickerson. This is the fourth book actually in a series, but I haven't read the series. This is the first book I read in the series, and you don't have to read it in order, so that's good too. I gave it 3 out of 5 stars on Goodreads. So for those of you who don't know what this book is about, basically it is about a girl named Gisela, and this book is a Cinderella retelling. So Gisela is Cinderella, and her sisters called her Cinderzella, so it's kind of like same ring to it, but her name is Gisela. Most people call her Gisela in this book. Gisela is living with her stepmom and her 2 stepsisters after her parents died, and so she's kind of been the maid there, and she doesn't like it. It's not very good. She's being treated very poorly, like in Cinderella, and Gisela has always had a crush on this guy named Felton, who is the Duke, and the Duke's son. Yeah, he's the Duke. He's the Duke's son, and she's always had a crush on him. And so basically, she's known him since she was little, and he came once to the horse thing they had, and he bought a horse from her family before her dad died, and so then they meet again years later, and things start happening, and Cinderella stuff. Beginning, it seems very Cinderella-ish, and I thought it was going to be completely Cinderella-ish, and it's only loosely based, actually. Once I read more, I found out it was loosely based, because it sounded a bunch like Cinderella, and then I was like, oh, it's loosely based, which I'm not complaining, because I really liked it. And there was much more romance in this than Cinderella. This is actually a 4th book in a series, and so some things I got a bit confused about, because they mentioned characters from the book before this, which is The Fairest Beauty, which I have not read yet, and they mentioned that Gabe was his brother, and Sophie was a girl he married, and so it kind of goes back on that story, and there's some other things probably from other books I just haven't read yet, so you know, that's pretty interesting. And I think the dad possibly in this book is there might be the parent. I think they're the parents actually in the first book, but I have no clue. I might be wrong on that, but I can't remember. So if you have not read this book, I suggest you leave now and come back and discuss once you're finished reading this book. I'll see you guys if you haven't read this book. Goodbye, non-spoilers. Goodbye, goodbye. Okay, so I have notes here. At the beginning of the book was a bit slow to start off with. It was kind of slow and wasn't the best book to pick up, but I'm kind of in a reading slump. And it's spring break, which is the worst time for a reading slump, in my opinion, because I can get a bunch of reading done, and I haven't got reading done, mainly because I've been starting a bunch of books, and I know this wasn't the best book to start, but I wanted to get through it, and I wasn't going to stop in the middle of it. That was my motivation. This book should not stop, but it was really hard because it was very slow at the beginning, and until like a certain point, till like they get to the second day and of the tournament, and her mom takes her home, it's kind of very slow. Nothing much happens, and then once that gets started, goes crap. Crap is just, that's what's going on. It's all crap. That's all that's going on. Also, I had a question. Who is this Ava character? I didn't know who Ava was. She kept talking about Ava, and I didn't really know who she was, and there wasn't that much description about Ava. I think she was her neighbor, but that's all I really know about this Ava character, and it kind of bothered me. I also really think there should have been more description on the setting. That was kind of bad. There wasn't much description on setting, which you need description on setting in a book. That's something you need to have, and this book did not have that. So again, this is kind of one of my reasons for this kind of lower rating. It was only 3 stars, and I haven't read a 3-star book in a long time. Falling in love was kind of a little too fast. I mean, I knew they didn't get together to like the end of the book, and I just finished reading it not too long ago. I know they didn't like kiss or anything to the end of the book, but their feelings and stuff came way too quickly. I understand Gisela's feelings. Gisela's feelings were great. I think that was fine, and the way that was worked out, but the way Valton's feelings worked, I didn't like that. I didn't like how he kind of fell for her way too quickly. You can already tell, I feel like it shouldn't have, maybe like, he shouldn't have realized it till closer to the end of the book. Maybe they were captured together. I feel like by the time they were captured with Rookster and stuff like that, that's when their love you should have realized, oh my gosh, I love her, and all that stuff, and yeah. And I thought the Queen of Love thing originally came too quickly until I kept reading on, And then I realized, okay, that's alright. I have the notes right here, so that's what I'm reading off of. Sometimes the book got a bit confusing, and I'd be like, wait, what's going on? And I wouldn't understand, and it kind of put me to sleep sometimes until I got to close to the end of the book. Like, the first half of the book, the first 100 pages, around that, was crap. It was really bad. I didn't like that. It was kind of bad. I just didn't know what's going on. I liked the prologue. I really enjoyed the prologue. It's probably one of my favorite parts of the book, the prologue. I just found it entertaining reading that. I really enjoyed that part. The part when it starts going to crap. Let's start with the going to crap parts. When her stepmother came there, and I'm like, no, oh crap, this isn't going to end well. Just go away. Just go away. Just don't. Don't be here. Don't. And it all went crappy there, and I was really worried for Gisela, and I didn't know what was going to happen to her, and so I got worried, and I didn't know what's going to go on. Also, another thing in this book, I feel like we got a lot of the character development. There was a good character development for Velton. That was really good. There wasn't really much for Gisela in that case. There wasn't much character development, I felt, for her. She was kind of the same person throughout the whole book. She was the same. And Velton, we got to see his character development, which I thought was really cool, seeing him develop as a character and more as a Christian, where Gisela, not much. There wasn't really any development for Gisela, which kind of was sad, but it's okay, I guess. I feel like they should have put more of their relationship with God more in the beginning half as well, because they kind of didn't focus much on it in the beginning. It was kind of not there at all. And then we get more to the end of the book, and it's more in there and not much in the beginning. I feel like I should put more of that in there, like how she got through all of this with God, and maybe she prayed to God, be like, hey, can one day I get out of this? I want to have like a happy ending, something like that, when she was in just a maid and stuff like that. I feel like they should have put more of that. There should be more of that. So the part when she's like home with her stepmother, her mom was acting weird, her sisters were acting very, very weird, and I'm like, something's gonna happen, something's going on here, and didn't know what exactly, but I knew something was gonna happen. When she was sold off to Rookster, I literally screamed. I was like, what? No, I think that was the biggest thing where I freaked out in the book. That was the biggest, probably, and I don't really freak out any other times. But that time, I did freak out, because I'm freaking out, what's going to go on with Gisela? He can't be sold off to Rookster. No, 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 because no one likes Rookster, because Rookster sucks. So, I was kind of freaking out a bit there, but, you know, that just kind of made it awkward when we found out they were cousins. That was just weird. Just imagine him and Gisela married, but they're cousins. In the beginning, I think we should have had more of Velton's point of view. I feel like we got more of that in the end, but I feel like we should have gotten more of that in the beginning to see more what he was thinking, because that barely happened. He barely got anything from his point of view. He got like a little snippet of like a page, and that was all he got. Most of the problems I had at the beginning book were good and better in the end of the book. I liked that Lucas, the servant boy for Ava, I really liked him, and I really want to see him in another book, but apparently he's not in another book. I really wanted to see him as a love interest. I really liked Valton's sister. I didn't know how to pronounce her name. I don't know how to pronounce her name, and I'm not even going to try. But I really liked her sister. Her sister was really nice, and I enjoyed her and Gisela's relationship. That was really nice to see, and I liked that. There's another problem I have with this book, is the characters were made too perfect. They were made perfect, and there was like no flaws with them. Most of my favorite characters have flaws. In the Lunar Chronicles, one of my favorite characters is Wolf, and that is because he is so flawed and has so many flaws, and that is why I love Wolf. I love flawed characters. Flawed characters are my favorite kind of characters, and this book, Gisela and Velton were pretty much perfect. There was like nothing wrong with them. Absolutely nothing. Nothing. And there should have been more flaws, and you couldn't see their flaws, and they're pretty much made perfect, which I don't like when characters are made perfect. There's no character or someone who is perfect. Nobody is perfect, and again, since it's a Christian book, I wish I would see more of it that they're flawed and not perfect, because that's kind of Christianity. We're not perfect people, and God is perfect. So I feel like there should have been more of that, and there wasn't, and there was no flaws. They had no flaws at all, and it bugged me. I got really confused with the timelines. I'm probably going to email Melanie Dickerson or message her on Goodreads, but I got really confused with the timelines because in the beginning it says it takes place in 1412, but then it also says it takes place in the Holy Roman Empire, and Roman Empire is not 1412. Roman Empire is like back, way back, and it's like BCE and stuff, and like before Christ era. It's back there. It's back there. I just learned about Rome and Middle Ages and stuff, and I know for a fact 1412 is definitely Middle Ages. I've been learning about this. 1412 is Middle Ages, not Roman Empire. Unless it's like the Byzantine Empire. I don't know exactly if it's Byzantine or what empire this is. Or they live in Rome. Maybe they live in Rome or Italy, and so they call it the Holy Roman Empire, but I honestly don't know much, and it kind of confused me. Maybe if I read the first book, it would make more sense, but it didn't make sense to me. I got really worried when Valton went back to camp, and he was like, okay, I'm going to go on my horse, and I'm like, this is a bad idea, but apparently it wasn't a bad idea, and somehow they didn't wake up, and they get captured again. I mean, they still got captured, and I don't think that, you want to get them a little bit of a getaway for fine, that's fine. I'm not complaining about that, but it just doesn't feel realistic enough. Also, whenever Gisela and Valton are trying to have like a little cute moment, and they're just going to have one, Daniel kept interrupting everything, and I'm like, just go away, just go away. I really liked him. I just thought, like, just go away, let them have a little cute moment. What's your problem? It seemed like Daniel kind of hated Valton. It just felt that way. He liked him in the end, but it felt like he hated him, and there was no reason behind it. He just kind of hated him, and it was really weird. The ending was pretty good. Decent. I don't really have any more thoughts, so those are my thoughts and opinions on the book. I gave this book 3 out of 5 stars on Goodreads. Share your thoughts and opinions down below in the description. I'd love to hear your thoughts on the book, and tell me if I should read any of her other books in this series, and someone explain to me this timeline because I'm lost, and it's not making sense to me. So thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Goodbye!